Alright, and we're back for the final video in our PowerPoint 2013 Exam 7422 video. If you've stuck with me that long, congratulations. After this video, you will be ready to take this exam. Alright, in the final video, we're going to look at how to protect and share presentations. Because the greatest PowerPoint presentation in the world doesn't do us any good if we can't share it with people. Okay, so let's get started. You got to jump through several hoops to do this. They really haven't consolidated all of this in one place for some reason. Why? I have no idea, and I really wish Microsoft would do that. There's more unity across their Office programs. They made great strides when they did the Affluent Ribbon back in Office 2007. Everybody, myself included, said, "Oh, this is going to be horrible. I'm not going to like it." And when you sit down and actually use the Affluent Ribbon, it's really kind of neat. They really did a good job with it. It was a little bit of a culture shock, so to speak, but it was good culture shock. So what I want to do first is I want to encrypt my presentation. No, I'm not going to start with that first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to check for certain issues in your PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Info. Well, Info is already up for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the Check for Issues box here. And I'm going to go through these options one by one. There's only 3 of them. So the first one I'm going to click is Inspect Document. And what this does is it removes any presentation metadata from your PowerPoint presentation. If you're not familiar with the term metadata, it just means data about data. Because whenever you whenever you create a PowerPoint presentation, it assigns certain information to that file, such as the author, the date it was created, so on and so forth. So before you use Document Inspector, make sure you save changes. Okay, yeah, we're going to make sure, even though we haven't made any changes. And this is what it's going to inspect for us. We'll just click Inspect. Here we go. Hey, it found a comment. Do we want to remove this comment? That's the comment we left on the slide with a bolt on it. If I want to remove it, just remove it there. And document personal information was found. Go. So, like I said, document properties and the author. So I'm going to remove those as well. And we're going to see when we go back to the info pane. I'm going to just reinspect it one more time. Alright, nothing was found there. Close that. I'm going to go back to the File tab. Info is already selected for me. You can see how author has been removed, last modified has been removed. I still have the created and last modified, but I don't have any tags, titles, categories, or anything like that. It kind of removes it all for you. Because if I release this to the world, maybe on a website or a CD I ship to potential clients or something like that, I might not want them to be open, and I might not want them to be able to crack this file open and view the metadata for whatever reason. Okay. Now, another thing I can do is I can check for accessibility issues, and this is for people with disabilities. We're going to check that, and maybe they have poor vision or something like that, and we're going to check that. There we go. The accessibility checker task pane comes up over here, and it tells me I'm missing alt text. Content placeholder 5, slide 3. Let me see, what is that? That must be, or maybe I can click on it. Oh great, I can click on it and get to it. That is neat. Okay, and what it's telling me here is the picture doesn't have any alt text. If you're not familiar with this terminology, alt text is something that a screen reader would use, because the screen reader reads text. It can't really read pictures, right? So what we do is we throw in a little bit of alt text in there, so when the screen reader hits that picture, it reads the alternate text instead of the picture, which it can't do. Alright, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to click the picture, right-click the picture, and we are going to click Format Picture. Go. And I believe it is, let me see, It's over here, field line up. Sometimes you gotta look for stuff. Alt text right here. Under format picture, alt text. Bam, right here. And I'm gonna say title, our products. There we go. Pictured below is one of our fine products. Yeah. And I'm going to close out of that one. There we go. And it changes it to no accessibility issues have been found. People with disabilities should not have difficulty reading this presentation. I'm going to go up. I'm going to save my work real quick. I'm going to go back to File. And I'm going to check for issues. I'm going to check compatibility because there are differences between different versions of PowerPoint. If I'm using a brand new feature in PowerPoint 2013, PowerPoint 2010 and 2007 might not be able to handle that feature. And this is important to know if I'm sending this to other companies that maybe don't have the same version of PowerPoint we have. I want to know if there's anything that's going to, mess them up. All right, that they can't see it, they can't read it, or whatever. Okay, following features presentation not supported. Hey, no compatibility issues are found, which means I'm using stuff that's standard across all PowerPoint platforms. And it says check for saving when in PowerPoint 97. Wow, people still use PowerPoint 97. All right, well, anyway, to each his own. I'm gonna click OK. All right, and I'm just keeping a running list here. All right. Restrict permissions. Suppose I want to restrict people from opening the file, and I want to restrict people from making modifications to the file. You can restrict permissions one of two ways. You can click on the File tab, go to Protect Presentation, and I can click Encrypt with Password. All right, and what that's going to do is it's going to enable me to set up a password that is going to be required to even open this PowerPoint slideshow. Now, if you forget your password, you're kind of like up the creek because there's no way to recover it. So yeah, we don't want to do that. So we don't want to do it right now. I'm going to show you another way to do this. You can restrict access. That involves connecting to a digital rights management server. Yeah, that requires a little bit more infrastructure setup than for our purposes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Save As. And I'm going to click Browse. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the Tools button right here. And I'm going to click General Options. And what this does is it gives me a password to open and a password to modify. These can be different passwords. If I have a group of people that I just want to be able to open the presentation, they can open the presentation. And you can set these up exclusively as well. For example, if I want anybody to be able to open up the presentation, I just don't set a password up in the open field here. If I do want a password for people to be able to modify the presentation, then I set that up as a password for them to modify. I'm going to set up 123 to open and 123456. All right, these are not good real-world passwords. All right, we're just using this for illustrative purposes. You have to re-enter the password to make sure you have it correctly. If you screw it up twice, you're on your own. I'm just going to let you know. Replace it. Yes, there we go. Now I'm going to close out of my presentation. And I'm going to open it back up. And password to open, 123. Sales presentation reserved by enter password to modify or open it as read-only. If I want to be able to make modifications, I'm going to stick the full password in there. Go, and it's going to open up the document for me, and I can see my slideshow pretty neat stuff. Alright, now let's talk about the size of our PowerPoint presentations, because once we get pictures, video, audio, and things of that nature in there, our file size can get really large. Large file sizes really aren't an issue anymore. The only time that would probably be an issue is if you're emailing it to someone, if you're just attaching it to an email and sending it. If you have a really large presentation, you can compress the media, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. But a much better option is a OneDrive account. You can upload it to your OneDrive account, share the link, email the link to the person, and then they can download it from there. Which your OneDrive account kind of makes file size attachments for email systems a thing of the past. So what I want to do is I want to go down to, here we go, Save As. I'm going to click Save As again. I'm going to click Browse. And I'm going to click the Tools button again. And I'm going to select Compress Pictures. Now what this is going to do is this is going to compress the size of my pictures in my presentation. All right? And this will affect the quality of the images in your presentation. Okay, I can delete cropped areas of pictures. Maybe I cropped a picture down. I can delete the non-essential areas. It means I can't go back to it now, but I can do that. I can change the resolution. I can click OK. I can click Save. Yeah, I'll replace it. Thank you very much. Maybe it didn't affect that one. I'm going to close out of it and open it back up real quick. There we go. Come on, close, close, close. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go, which is our passwords, which we would not use in the real world. We're just using those for quote-unquote classroom purposes only. Let's see if it actually affected the quality of our picture. I don't know if it's going to or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it makes it look really lousy. Sometimes if the picture was really kind of low resolution to begin with, it's really not going to do anything to hurt you. All right. Now, let's talk about font types, right? Everybody loves to use crazy fonts in their presentations. Well, what if you try to play this presentation on a computer that does not have that font type installed? PowerPoint's going to make a decision on which font to use, and that decision's probably not going to be a good decision for you. What we're going to do is, now that we have our PowerPoint presentation open on my computer, is we're going to go to File. We're going to go to Options. And actually, we're going to do two things while we're here. In the Save area of the Options dialog box, I am going to check the box that says Embed Fonts in the file. And what this means is it's going to embed those font types in the PowerPoint file. Your file size goes up by a little bit, not really by that much unless you have a lot of strange, weird fonts, multiple weird fonts in your presentation, but it's not going to go up that much either way. So what I got is I got two options: embed only the characters used in the presentation, best for reducing file size, or embed all characters, best for editing by other people. Maybe I want to choose the second option here, and I'm going to click OK. There we go. Now when I save it, it's going to embed those fonts for me, which takes it a little. See, it says Embedding Fonts down there at the bottom. Let me see if I can get down there fast enough. There we go, Embedding Fonts. And it does make the save take a little bit longer. But hey, double-edged sword, right? You want to embed your fonts, this is what you're going to do. Okay, let's give this a moment to finish up. If it doesn't, I'm just going to cancel out of it. There we go. Alright. So it's saved. The fonts are embedded. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to proof my my PowerPoint presentation for any misspellings, and it'll correct some grammatical errors. It won't be perfect with grammar, but it'll try. But I want to go click the File tab, and I'm going to show you a couple things under the Options dialog box here as it pertains to proofing. Yeah. One of the first options that you might want to ignore, or you might want to turn off, is the option to ignore words in uppercase. What this means is the spell checker will not check words that are in uppercase. I always disable that feature. I want it to check for words that are in uppercase, because if I spell a title in all uppercase and I misspell something, I want to know about it before I show it on the big screen to everybody and prove to them that, I don't know how to spell. Alright, check spelling as we type. That's a good option to have. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to click the Review tab. And then what I'm going to do is proofing. I'm going to click spelling right there. And I have no spelling errors in my... Well, yeah, I do. My last name. Okay, is coming up as flagging my last name as misspelling because it doesn't know the spelling of my last name. My last name is spelled correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add. And what that does is it adds it to the spell check database for this particular Office installation. If I move this to another Office, if I move this file to another Office installation, if they open it up on another computer, it will still flag my last name as being misspelled because my last name's not in the spell check database for their machine, for their Office installation. Alright, so spell check. The final thing we're going to do is once we're done, once we've proofed it and everything like that, is we are going to mark it as final. And we're going to go to File, Protect Presentation, Mark as Final. Let readers know the presentation is final and ready to make read-only. This presentation will be marked as final and then saved. We're going to click OK to that. Oh, and again, it's Embedding Fonts. So we're going to give it a minute here to check itself. And boom, there we go. The document has been marked as final to indicate that editing is complete and that this is the final version of the document. When a document is marked as final, the status property is set to final, and typing, editing commands, and proofing marks are turned off. You can recognize that a document is marked as final when the Mark as Final icon displays in the status bar. Click OK. There we go. And that must be the marked as final right there. So that's our final presentation we're going to do. It's marked as final. This is the last video in the 7422 series for PowerPoint 2013. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really hope you learned a lot. I can't wait to do the other Office programs to help people learn this software, get certified, and get a good job. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I hope they've been informative, and thank you again.